Right, hi guys. I have just bought myself a new tablet, so I thought I'd do an unboxing just to show people what it's like, and then I'll probably do a little review once I've used it as well. So to start with, I have gone with a Huion. I've used these guys before, and they they seem quite good. They've got the capabilities of a Wacom, but at a fraction of the price, which is pretty good. I use a Wacom Intuos Pro at work, which is a really nice tablet to use. It's kind of an older one, so I'm kind of used to all of the functionality that it's got. But for use at home, it's a little bit pricey. I think they're about 300 quid for an Intuos with all of the tilt and the rotation functionality and all that. So previously I've used a Huion tablet, just a regular, a kind of standard one, and it was a basic one, but it was about, I think it was about £50 to buy. This one is currently a little bit more, it's about £100 on Amazon. But it's got Bluetooth, it's got a battery-free pen now. The previous Huions were all battery pens, so you actually had to charge them before you could use them. Now they do last a while. Very rarely I'd pick up my pen and it'd be like out of charge, and I'd have to charge it for half an hour before using it. And you can use it with the thing plugged in as well, although that's a bit awkward obviously if you're trying to paint and you've got a cable hanging off the back of your pen. But the new Huion ones are coming with the battery-free pens, so I'm looking forward to trying it out and seeing how well that works. So right, the model is an Inspiroy Q11K version 2. Version 2 is important because that's when they upgraded it with the battery-free pen. The neighbour's dogs are barking, but let's ignore that. That's fine. So let's open it up and have a look. I have opened it before, but I've put it all back nicely for the purpose of this video. Right, take the lid away. It comes with a nice thank you card. It's very polite. You're welcome. Well, we'll see if you're welcome, if we like the tablet. But there's that, put that to one side. The tablet itself comes in a nice packet, nice protective film thing. And here it is. One tablet. Oh, that's catching the light a bit there. It's got a nice build quality. It doesn't feel too light or anything. It feels reasonably solid. You can imagine that it could feel a little bit more solid, but it's a nice shape and size. The beveled sides are nice because they make it feel nice for holding it as well. So if you are kind of picking it up and moving it around, it's kind of a nice feel to it. It's got some buttons down the side. I rarely use the hotkeys when I'm using one of these tablets. The ones on the Wacom that I use at work, I've never configured to use. I'm just too used to the shortcuts in Photoshop. Other things to point out are on the end it's got a on and off, because it's Bluetooth, it's wireless. I think it's Bluetooth. It comes with a wireless dongle anyway, so it turns the connection on and off, and the USB port there. I'll probably tend to use mine wired all the time. I'm assuming that you can just have it connected via cable as well. I guess I'll find out. I tend to just keep the wire in because I'd be annoyed if the Bluetooth ran out of battery while I was using it. But maybe I should try it and see how long it lasts for, that kind of thing. And it's got a little button there as well, which is another switch with a little lock on it. I have no idea. I guess we'll find out what that's about. But yeah, that's the actual tablet itself. It's also a nice size. It's it's about the size of the Intuos. I don't know the exact measurements, but it feels very comparable to the one that I use at work. And a little bit bigger than the ones that I've been using at home, so that's good. And a lot bigger than the Wacom that I've been using as well, which I'll just grab. This is my temporary Wacom, which is a tiny little bamboo thing. It's good when something breaks on my setup and I just need, a basic tablet to do something, but it's tiny. So you do a slight movement on this, and it's a big movement on the screen. So with this one, it should allow me to be a lot more sensitive in my drawing and designing and stuff. So here's the tablet itself. Let's put that to one side as well. So other stuff that comes in the box. It's got the wireless dongle. I'm assuming it's a Bluetooth dongle, but I guess I'll find out. If it is, then on some things, like on the Mac, I won't actually need it because I've got Bluetooth. It's got Bluetooth built in, but we'll see. So that's that. I'll leave it for now. Ever trusty pen holder. These are always handy. I assume that these contain, yes, the nibs. That's good. See if I can show you that little selection of replacement nibs in there. As much as I've used a Wacom, I have never broken the nib on it. Touch wood. Touch wood. It's not so. I know a lot of people wear them down. I guess for doing like, the stuff I use it's all for like texturing 3D models, and maybe I just don't need to do as much motion and as much brush work as some people do. So I just tend to not get through the nibs. But maybe I should look and see how much they do wear down. But it's good that there's a load in there. It's like 10 nibs. So they're either expecting you to go through them very quickly, or they're just giving you a long lifetime for the tablet. But nice little donut-shaped pen holder. That's quite nice. The pen itself, I quite like. It's not too light, not too heavy. The previous Huion tablet I'd used was missing this kind of bump at the end of the pen. So I would find that if I was working for a long time, my fingers would sometimes slip down, and it just made it slightly uncomfortable. I guess I had to hold it with a tighter grip over time. This one looks a lot more like the Wacom Intuos pen, where you've got the bump and your hands just, you can just rest on that part of the pen quite nicely. I know I've seen some people use the pen from up here. Maybe they're people who are more used to using a paintbrush, I'm not sure. But I'll be happy to just use it normally like a pen or a pencil and just use it from down there. And yeah, it feels instantly quite comfortable to use. I'll just hold it on the tablet and see how it feels. Yeah, that feels quite nice. I guess time will tell how comfortable it is to use, but it feels very familiar, so that's a good thing. It's got 2 buttons. I assume they're configurable, just like they are on most tablets. Usually I'll just leave it as default and have it as a left and right click. But again, I don't use them very much, as far as I can tell. I'm sure they're handy, but I don't tend to use them very much. I do wonder if it's got the eraser built in. Again, I don't use that, but it's I guess it's a nice feature for some people. I don't think it does because it's rounded in a weird way, so I think that would be strange. Let me just hold it up there. I think it would be strange if that was the eraser, because it's kind of, oh, I did focus there. It's kind of a weird shape, an uncomfortable shape if you were trying to erase with that. But I guess we'll see. Put the pen back. Oh, actually, just see how well it sits in here. That's pretty good. Yeah. Stands quite nicely, and you can put it horizontally as well. It's got a little bevel in the pen holder if you like to keep your pen horizontal. Depends how you tend to work, I guess, how much space you've got on your desk. I tend to like it upright, so I can just grab it straight out there. Let's just pop those back in. Other things we've got. It says a download driver manual. There's not actually any CDs in there, even though for some reason they've made it look like a CD. I don't know why, but it's like I guess yeah, it will probably be a QR code or something that it's got a little one on the back there that will link to the driver. One of the main problems I've seen with Huion is the drivers that they used to tend to bundle, which they obviously don't do anymore, were always out of date by the time you come to use them, and they had issues. So I guess not bundling the driver, so you have to go to the website and download it. Seems like a good idea. So I'll basically, when I go to get it, I'll get the latest drivers and see how it works. And then we've got a cable, standard USB cable. I guess you can use any one if this breaks, and hopefully it doesn't break. Looks reasonable quality. Can't complain about that. Doesn't feel too cheap at all. So considering the price of the tablet versus some of the more expensive tablets, it's nice that even the components don't feel like they've cut corners or anything. So, but yeah, So that's the tablet out of its box. Next up will be to give a go at actually using it. So I'll stop there and I'll start again when I've had a go with it. Right, so I've been using the tablet for a little while to give it a good once over and make sure that the initial feel of the thing was how it feels after a couple of hours of use. It was really easy to install the drivers. I've put it on both Mac and Windows, and it was, you just install the drivers, download them from the website, and then you just either plug the USB cable directly into your computer or plug in the little Wi-Fi dongle, and either way it works, just no problems at all. So that was good. I'm using it, I've been using Photoshop Elements with it, so you don't have quite as many options for brush settings and things that you do in the full version of Photoshop. But it was enough to test because it gives you the kind of the pressure pressure sensitivity and everything on different kinds of brushes, and yeah, so the size of the tablet itself is quite nice. It's quite a surprise actually how I think it must only be like an inch or two wider than the Intuos Pro that I'm using at work, but it does feel that much wider. So you've got to move the pen a bit more to get across the screen. Now you can configure that. It's in its tool that it installs. You can configure the sensitivity, but I quite like the extra definition that you can get out of the larger area. And after using it for half an hour, I was back comfortable using it as normal. It was just the initial kind of, whoa, it's quite big, it kind of throws you a little bit. I guess that's probably if people ever go from like a medium up to a large Intuos, they probably have the same thing. I've never used a large Intuos, so I don't know, but I imagine that's the same. The pressure sensitivity was excellent. Absolutely no problems with that. There was no delay in the latency when I was drawing, and I was drawing while recording. I'm just talking over the recording now rather than actually talking while I draw because I wasn't able to do that and concentrate. But yes, there was no lag while I was drawing, so it was good. And I was kind of worried about if it was a wireless tablet might introduce some extra latency there, but it didn't seem to have any effect, which is fantastic. The pen felt quite nice. As I was saying, the bump means you can comfortably hold it and your fingers won't slip down the end, so I was quite happy with that. I do think it's ever so slightly lighter than the Wacom pen, but that's just, I think that's just a kind of something that maybe makes it feel the quality of the pen feels different because it's lighter, but it doesn't appear to affect how you use it at all. So I was quite happy with that. A couple of bad points. When it's in wireless mode, it will go to sleep quite quickly, which is a little bit annoying because I'll tend to be doing a little bit of work and then I might jump back into 3ds Max or into Unity, and then if I'm away from the tablet if I'm not drawing for like, I think it feels like maybe 10 minutes or something, it goes to sleep. And in order to wake it up, you've got to use the switch on the side, the on and off switch. That's only when it's in wireless. When it's connected, it just stays awake, so that's good. But that's a little bit annoying that using the tablet didn't wake it up. I was kind of expecting, you draw a little bit and it'll wake up again, but that doesn't seem to. So you've got to actually just tick it on and off. But it is only, you take it off, on 2 seconds later it's connected and you can use it again, so that's fine. I couldn't test the tilt setting. Now the website and the Amazon listing says that it's got the tilt control. The version of Photoshop Elements doesn't have the option to try that, so I wasn't able to test it. I might take it into work and try the tablet on proper Photoshop just to see what the tilt is like, so I can't really give any impressions of that. And also there's no rotate detection. Some of the Intuos ones you can have the rotate detection. I'm pretty sure you can anyway, and it will pick that up as well. But this tablet and pen don't have that, so that's probably one down tick versus the Intuos that you might get. So the overall impressions of the tablet, I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy that It's a really nice feeling size. The quality is, you know, the build quality is really good. No problems with the drivers. As I said before, some people have issues with the drivers on the Huion tablets. I had some little problems with the older Huion tablet I had, where it would, I needed to get a specific version of the driver. The newer drivers just didn't work with the tablet for whatever reason, so I had a specific version of the driver that I had to use. But with this one, the latest driver is perfectly fine. Who knows if future drivers will have problems? I guess I'll find out. I'll try and keep them updated and see what happens. But the ones that are there at the moment seem perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm quite happy with using it. Like, as you can see, I was drawing with it for a while, just sketching and then colouring in, and when I'm colouring and doing the shading, I flick between having either a fixed size brush or using the shape dynamics. And with the shape dynamics, it was, you know, just the kind of sensitivity that I've come to expect from using a Wacom. So that was, you know, I've got absolutely no complaints there. It was a joy to use, so I'm really happy with it. I'll think about doing an update later on once I've used the tablet for months, I guess, and let people know if, you know, how it's worked over time. If there's been any mechanical problems with it, then I'll come back and I'll report about those. But fingers crossed, it will be fine. I mean, even though it's a wireless tablet, I'm not likely to be carrying it around very many places, because I tend to I've got my workstation at home and I use it there. So with it in one place, I expect it'll manage to operate for a good long time. I mean, I've never had a tablet actually break on me, so that's good. Yeah, so there it is. That's my review. I think I'd probably give the tablet about an 8 out of 10. The presentation is really nice. It comes in a really nice box. It feels well packaged, and like it'll have been safe in transit, so that's always kind of reassuring when you open it up and it's like, yeah, this is solid. That's good. The build quality of the pen and the accessories and the tablet itself, you know, really good. Like I say, it could have felt a bit sturdier, but that's quite a minor thing. Usability of the tablet, again, with the connectivity being so fluid to go between wireless and connected by the cable, that's great. It's got all of the functionality and of the same level as you'd expect from a Wacom, so that's good. And then the value for money is obviously a really important one, considering it is around a third of the price of an Intuos, and it feels like it's probably trying to aim at the same part of the market as Intuos. So yeah, for being a third of the price, they've made a pretty competitive product there. I'm actually really interested to see what Huion do over time, because they are getting better with each product I get. They seem to be getting, the drivers feel more professional. The products are definitely improving over time. They're adding features to the tablets to bring them up in line with Wacom's top end range. Personally, I'm not fussed about using a screen tablet, but in that department as well, they seem, again, Huion seem to be really taking Wacom to task and providing a good range of different sizes and different ability things. The screen tablets, again, also now using the battery-free pens, so I can imagine a lot of people who are kind of interested in using a screen tablet might be like, yeah, I'll rather than spending however many hundreds it is on, multiple hundreds on the Wacom one, I'll go for the 300 to 400 Huion one, and give that a go. Especially like someone like me, if they'd had a couple of Huion tablets already and they feel like, yeah, this brand is actually, they're not bad at all, you'd feel more comfortable going into that route. So that will probably do well for them over time. But yeah, like I say, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, and that's not something you can complain about for for £100 tablet. It's £110, I think it was, on Amazon. So yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed my terrible creatures that I was drawing. I thought I'd just sketch some ideas for some woodfell creatures while I was doing it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.